Stancil is one of those posters where if you're anything but a corporate dem, you're going to get mad reading and listening to him. Like, I literally cannot read anything about Will Stancil without getting fucking mad enough to want to make a video. It's like this guy has a talent, a fucking talent. Because he can make both Nazis fanatically obsessed with him, but also people left of Democrats like me, right? Like, I I I I just want to clarify, as you know, I hate the online left. I think most of them are agents, officers of the intelligence community, random billionaire trolls. I think many, if not most, um, online leftists are completely fucking fake. But no doubt some of them are real, and they also hate Will Stancil. And this dude has a phenomenal ability. I don't know how. I think it's his certainty. Like everything he says is with like, this is fact. It should be Encyclopedia Britannica, and it's like his fucking opinion, and it's wrong, right? I just wanna read this for a second, right? One of his ass lickers is quoting an article about him and how impactful this passage is from Will Stancil. This is what it says. So what you have is a competition amongst many publishers. Amongst this giant, almost infinite collection of low-cost writers and video publishers, all competing for attention. And they are experimenting to find which statements, which assertions, which claims are going to attract the most attention. And what we are seeing over time is this kind of arms race towards the most dramatic, the most emotionally loaded claims possible. Just go on social media and you'll see this. There will be people saying, crisis, 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 or look at this inspiring thing, or look at these cute puppies, or whatever. Every single thing you see is designed to force some kind of emotional response from you. People have gotten really good at this. And what we've seen over time is that the stuff that tends to get spread the furthest tends to be the more negative stuff. Be fearful, be angry, be resentful. What I think we've also seen is that the right has access to a deeper pool of negative emotions because they can tap into a lot of really deep seated resentments and bigotries, particularly around race, gender, and immigration. They're just not accessible to anyone who calls themselves a member of the left or center left. And that really advantages them. They can dig in this fully, and they have dug in on this fully more and more over time. Whereas the left is trying to stay away from those topics and sticking to ones that have potentially a lower ceiling. And the person, Robin Wild, who was quoting this, says, this was really an excellent read. And this bit stands out as what made me most worried over the last few years. The whole information environment is geared toward making people angry, afraid, or depressed. And before we get to anything as advanced as politics, that's terrible for our brains. Robin's point's correct, but yeah, here's the thing. If having your life and future destroyed by a tiny elite of billionaires who call themselves immortal, literally, they think they're immortal and they think they're godlike, as they dismantle your country and fuck the world for you and your children. If that's not a salient emotional topic, it's probably because patsies like Will Stancil are doing everything in their power to direct you away from it. The reason, no, 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 no. You're telling me fake harms are more emotionally salient than real ones? You're telling me the anger people feel over Hispanics and trans teachers is more impactful than wake up? There's a tiny group of billionaires who are calling themselves immortal. They view themselves not as leaders of America, but leaders of humanity and the world. And by leaders, they mean slave owners. They don't view themselves as guiding you, but riding you like a fucking cattle that they own. You're chattel to them. Look at what they're doing. They're fucking everything up for your kids, for you. You're telling me that's not more emotionally salient than the Hispanics speak funny? The fuck out of here. You know why I'm gonna tell you why it ends up that the right is more emotionally invested. It's because only the right's really trying to convince their people of these things. And people like Will Stancil, who get paid by the billionaires and are part of the Illuminati elites, is they're doing everything in their power to make you not as angry as the billionaires as you should be. You're resentful, you're jealous. They always brainwash progs into these like ancient right-wing viewpoints. Like I was talking a few days ago how no kings is literally a Republican slogan. Why are progs saying everything that's going wrong is because of Trump? Like no prog thinks that. Progs existed before Trump. Why now is the rallying cry for progressives some fucking shit a never Trump Republican would say? The reason the Democrats are not as good at emotionally reaching people is you guys label Bernie Sanders a communist. And anybody who's really even slightly talking about the real problem, you banish, give them a diminutive child name like Bernie, and say they're irrelevant and you're a wrecker. That's why you guys aren't good at reaching people, is because you're paid to be inept, right? Let's be real, you're paid to be inept, right? These people like Chuck Schumer, you're fucking paid to be inept. You're paid to let MAGA happen, right? And it would be, if we had a real opposition, they would sweep. They would sweep because you know why? Real threats hit instinctively more than fake threats. And instead, because people like Will Stancil's entire job is to make you blame the bottom, right? So this isn't because the poor Mark Zuckerberg's hands forced. Elon Musk, something happened. He went crazy after COVID. These fucking fakers. They're throwing this narrative. Something happened in our billionaire class. They all joined MAGA. They made it, you dumb fuck. From the moment Trump came out, he could not have won without Twitter and Facebook. Like they were pushing his ass. I promise you, the well of emotional depth and intensity of anger that you could evoke by telling the fucking truth would eclipse Hispanic speak funny all day long. The reason it's not happening is because, again, people like you, anybody with politics like Bernie Sanders, who is, by the way, moderate for what needs to happen, is called a communist, a wrecker, a nut job, a little kid, Bernie. Here's a cookie, Bernie. Bernie's fake. What I'm trying to say is if somebody real like Bernie existed, you would fucking destroy their message because you're paid by billionaires too, right? So if you want to know the reason Democrats are not good at manipulating emotion the same way the right is, because one, you're paid to be inept. Let's be real. These people like Chuck Schumer are paid. I'm going to write a letter and I don't like this. Fuck off. Like, or whatever the fuck he said in that video. They're paid to look like they're doing shit, but they take turns throwing it for Trump. Like the senators take turns throwing it for Trump, and just basically looking like they're doing something, looking like resistance while letting it all happen. And for that reason, they don't want them to strongly evoke emotional anger. And instead, what you see amongst the online libs and Dems is trying to get them to be intensely angry at MAGAs at the bottom of society. And the reason that doesn't work is most liberals are more educated than MAGAs. And so they intrinsically know MAGAs at the bottom of society do not do this. I mean, as much as they force it every day, they voted for this, they want this, it's their fault, blame them. You can't go on Blue Sky without seeing that because they're all getting paid to say that, right? But even with all that propaganda, ultimately, your average liberal is more educated and intelligent than the average MAGA. So that's why low quality propaganda does not work as well on them. So when you're saying these things and your reader base is more educated and more intelligent, they're reading this and they can't fight the awareness. No, I'm pretty sure MAGA in Kentucky didn't do this. I'm pretty sure it's billionaires. I'm pretty sure it was them. Pretty sure that this whole red hat cult thing was just them reacting to billionaires presenting them to get their complicity because they're low education and stupid and easily brainwashed to destroy the country. Like it's obviously the billionaires, right? So if you changed your message to accurately say all these billionaires and many people in media literally worship Satan, literally think they're immortal. They look at the entire world as theirs alone, and every other human being outside of their cult is their slave. They exist to be manipulated by them and serve them. And that's the problem. That's ultimately the problem. We have to rise up against these billionaires, tax them down to size, seize their money because they do not deserve it. They are antisocial psychopaths. and redistribute it and rebuild our societies. I promise you, you could so emotively sell that message because it's intrinsically true, and it would click bigly with the left and center left. But you won't. You won't. Whenever anybody like says something that you're like, get out of here, you crazy cum. You must be schizophrenic. You're nuts. Why are you upset? You think billionaires have magic? I've had some of their patsies say to me that I think billionaires, I'm delusional how powerful I think billionaires are. I want you to unpack that. Like, as if billionaire was like the concept of a Jewish person. Like, you're delusional in what you think they have this power. It's like, yeah, they kind of own, like, I mean, you can look this up. Like, the bottom 98% of the population owns like 1% of the wealth. Like, it's pretty fucking obvious. They are effectively kings because of how bad that the wealth gaps get. Because the power gaps, aka capital holding, is so great, they function more like kings. And what they're doing now is making the society more in line with that. After they seized all the wealth and gimped the people from having any power by making such a gross inequality from the bottom to the top, all that's left to do is tear down society so they can remake it in their image where they are officially kings. I mean, they probably won't call themselves kings because they're going to keep the delusion that's not happening, but they will absolutely restructure society. So basically, mold boogieing, where the people are just animals who have no input, and only the capital holders, these people in the Illuminati who call themselves Satanist elites, immortals, have any say. And it's just going to be naked corruption and stagnation because they don't know they really don't do anything. They think they do stuff, but they don't. And as they make the society this oppressive, we will stagnate. The future belongs to China, but that's a whole other discussion. I promise you, the moment these Democrats start telling the truth and stop trying to get you to be mad at other MAGAs the way MAGAs are mad at Hispanics, it will be so impactful. Nothing hits like a Bernie speech. Like, if the only reason Bernie doesn't have more fans is the huge amount of propaganda against him from obviously the Republicans, but also the Democrats, right? You people got behind a social democrat who was accurately blaming the real problem. I promise you it would hit hard. The reason it doesn't hit hard is liberals are more educated and they are not able to scapegoat as well as stupid people. Stupid people scapegoat very well. It's because they're too stupid to know anything or think. So you could tell a stupid person like this nurse really harmed people, or this Hispanic is getting you and is the reason your Realty Inc. owned trailer park is charging you 15% more rent, and they'll believe you because they're stupid. But if you have some education, you're a little more intelligent, when you damn well know poor whites in Kentucky have no power and billionaires have all the power, and you try to sell them, you should be really, really mad and scared of these poor MAGAs. They're just gonna be like, I mean, I don't like them and they're part of the problem, but no, no, billionaires did this. And so that's why they don't, it doesn't create the same emotional intensity. As much as they show like liberals on social media being furious at MAGAs, it doesn't hit the same way because liberals damn well fucking know the real problem is the billionaire class. And it's like this unspoken elephant in the room because every single prominent liberal Dem influencer is trying to make you mad at MAGAs. They want you to be mad at Trump. They want you to be mad at Trump's appointees. And they want you to be mad at the MAGA voters. They do not want you mad at billionaires. And everything these fucking slobs, like Emily Dean's posting on Darth, all the motherfuckers, do is to try to make you mad at those targets, because those are safe targets. They're hired government whores, they're hired government celebrities, and common people on the bottom of society, not the billionaire class. The narrative they sell you about the billionaire class is they're such poor little babies, they had to go along. They're weak. They're weak and they're making a mistake. But they didn't do this or plan this, just going along with it. Anyone left of center knows that shit's not fucking true. But if you go on MAGA propaganda network, they really believe because they're ignorant and they're stupid and they're easy to control with lies. So you could tell them like send your kid to school. Next thing you know, a they them teacher send them home in a dress and they're a little boy. They're saying, "I don't feel like a boy, do you? You gotta wear a dress now." And I said, "Don't you put no dress on my little boy in school." And they said he prefers to be called she, her. You gotta do something about these communist teachers. They'll believe that shit. They will. They will say that's the enemy. You try that with liberals who are more educated and damn well fucking know it's the billionaire class, most of them, especially the left of center ones know that. And you try this like, that poor white guy in a trailer in Kentucky did all this. This is his fault. The billionaire's hands are forced. I mean, they may read you and like your comment, but they damn well fucking know that ain't the truth. They're just so used to lies that they don't even demand the truth from their own influence. And they go along with this bullshit narrative that MAGA voters did this. You want to get people as emotionally invested as MAGA does the morons with lies? Start telling the truth. Start telling the truth. And the billionaires' hands were not forced. The billionaires made MAGA to tear down the country. So after they allowed for wealth gaps to get king-like, now they're going to remake the world in their image, where they are officially fucking kings and nobody has any power or any life worth. Start saying that, and you're going to find people getting real emotional. Bernie draws a crowd for a fucking reason, and the only reason more people aren't into that is because of the propaganda from you and the right to destroy anybody who says that fucking message. But it's the fucking damn truth. Liberals are not as good at reacting to propaganda because they're too fucking smart to fall for it, on average, when compared to MAGAs. But you can get people very passionate about the truth when there's an injustice. You're hired to hide the truth. So that's why you're ineffective at evoking emotions in left and left of center people.